So keep in mind, not all women. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Not all women. So if I say something like maybe the founding fathers were onto something, just know I'm talking about women like this. Keep in mind, these women are allowed to vote. These women go out and vote en masse. These people who have been so indoctrinated that they are claiming that the founding fathers knew absolutely nothing. While they sit there and do this and do all their fucking crazy, they're shouting and this and that. They want to say the founding fathers had less access to education than a modern 12-year-old. Given the fact of what 12-year-olds look like nowadays in the education system, you sure you want to go there? These kids, they can't read, they can't write, they can't do math, they can't... What, did she think the founding fathers were just dum-dums who were smacking each other with rocks? I mean, what? But let's listen to what this young individual has to say.
When the founding fathers made this great country, I'm going to stop you right there. The founding fathers owned slaves. The founding fathers had less access to education than a modern day 12-year-old. They don't know anything. I don't care what they wanted. I don't care what they think. It's unconstitutional. I should hope so. The Constitution was written by people who didn't think women should vote.
And as I said, maybe, especially with women like her, maybe the founding fathers were onto something. I seriously think there should be a mental evaluation before you get to vote. Because it's people like this who are voting and ruining the fucking country. These people who go and vote with their fifis and hatred and all that, and not with common sense of, wanting to make things legitimately better. But no, well, this is a Republican, but, well, he made some good points, but I hate Republicans, so, Democrat. Maybe the founding fathers were onto something.
The Constitution was written by people who had 15-year-old wives dying in childbirth frequently. The Constitution was written by people who had little cartoon Elmer Fudd shotguns, not automatic war machines capable of ripping down 100 children in a minute, and have, and will again. The whole point is to change. The whole point is to progressively make better decisions so we do not repeat the atrocities of our ancestors.
And yet these stupid cunts do it every day. They want to talk about fascism when they are the fascists themselves, because they have not learned anything. You just saw not too long ago a political commentator assassinated. Why? Because these fucking liberal cunts didn't like what he had to say, and the only way to shut him up was to silence him for good. That is what fascists do. Fascists do not go to school campuses and have open debates with people. Fascists will shoot and murder their political opponent, or at the very least, send you to the fucking gulags. So these people are repeating history because they have not learned anything. They have seen time and time again what happens when you call for the last 10 years. What happens when you use heavy loaded words like racist and Nazi and dictator and fascist and white supremacist. And every single time something happens, these people say, oh my God, oh, we need to tone things down and blah. But then the very next week, there they are, calling Donald Trump a dictator, calling anyone who supports him a fucking Nazi and a white supremacist. These people do not learn from history because they are fucking retarded. These are the little fucking retarded kids who haven't learned not to put their hand on the stove when it's on. A smart kid burns himself the first time and says, ow, I don't want to feel that again. These kids are, ow, 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 ow. That is what they are. They have yet to learn that they are the reason for all of this. And this individual seems to think like the founding fathers, like, duh, me not know what to, me have no access education, me dumb. Like, how indoctrinated do you have to be to believe that the founding fathers of this country were like fucking dum-dums? Are you Benjamin Franklin, one of the greatest minds? No, he was a dum-dum. No, he's just fucking clanking rocks together and Elmer Fudd gun and...
If I was born at any other time in American history, I would have been burned at the stake or lobotomized. And we think the people doing that are the ones who know what should be going on today? We don't want to listen to the people who cured tuberculosis or decided, hey, maybe we shouldn't put lead in house paint? You are actively repeating the atrocities of your ancestors. You're doing it on purpose!
And this is a reason why people believe that the education system is completely failing and the Department of Education needs to be fucking shut down. Because this is what they're teaching kids. This is what they're fucking teaching kids. They're teaching them that the founding fathers were just racist, misogynistic dum-dums who had Elmer Fudd guns. And you know, they had the same education level as a fucking, you know, a 12-year-old, saying that, oh, if you feel a certain way, it's not because of you know, if you're a little girl and you like boy things, it's not because you're a tomboy, it's because you're actually trans and you should have your breasts removed as soon as possible. If you're a little boy and you like to play with Barbies, that's not because you're a little more feminine, it's because you're trans and we need to start you on hormones and get your penis lopped off. They're teaching kids about fucking anal sex when they shouldn't be. They're teaching kids, oh, if you're white, you're constantly the oppressor. And if you're black, you're never going to make it in society because you're constantly going to be oppressed. They're telling people, and the statistic that I heard is absolutely insane. The amount of people who agree that political assassinations are warranted, depending on who it is, 30-something% of people say that on the left say that, yeah, absolutely, political assassinations are fine. But they're the side of love and tolerance, right? Political assassinations, guess what? You want to know who does that? Fascists. The Nazis. You are the very fucking thing that you claim to be against, and you people are too fucking retarded to realize it. And if you have a problem with what I'm saying, congratulations. You're the problem. Because anyone else will hear this and say, you know what? Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. He has a point. No, the only people who are going to disagree with me are the people like this, the fucking retards who think assassinating someone because you don't like what they say is warranted and just. You people are the fucking problem. You people are the fascists. You claim to be side of love and tolerance, but you are far from it. You claim hate and racism has no place here, and yet the minute someone on your side speaks out, if they're black, you call them all sorts of fucking Uncle Toms and coons and this and that. If they're, you know, Hispanic, you call them racial slurs. They fucking Asians, you call them chinks. You name it. But racism has no place here. You say about mental health and you know, and ableism, and yet you're sitting there making fun of people who have, you know, autism and stuff like that simply because they don't think the same way as you. But the side of love and tolerance, right? See, this is what the education system is doing. The education system, I'm sure this person's parents, the media, all telling these people all this shit that basically fascism, to fight fascism is perfectly fine. This is where we're at. They think fascism, to fight it, is fine. They think political assassinations are fine. They think that the founding fathers had the educational experience of a 12-year-old. These people hate America so fucking much, yet they refuse to leave. It's insane. People have said it. America is the only country on this planet where cunts like her are allowed to be here, who complain about it, but they refuse to leave. If you want your education and your fucking communism and all that, there are plenty of other countries. I heard Korea is beautiful this time of year. Same thing with China. You know, if you want LGBTQ plus friendliness and allies, oh, I hear the Middle East is gorgeous this time of year. But they hate this country so much, and yet they never, ever leave. Curious. But this is what if you've ever wondered why people want to shut down the Department of Education, it's because of people like this. Clearly, the education system is failing kids, and it has been for decades now. And it's been doing it for when I was a kid, this was in the 90s, we learned everything we were supposed to. Math, science, history, reading, writing, economics. We learned all of that. We had sex ed. I remember I was in 6th grade, and they weren't doing what these teachers are doing now. Oh, this is a dildo. Oh, anal sex. No, we learned about what sex was, to wrap it up, the basics. These kids are learning, like, kinks. Like, what the fuck? These kids are learning everything except for what they need to know, which is why schools are having to lower the standards for reading, writing, and math, because these kids are fucking stupid. They shut down the economy for an entire fucking year. So these kids had to stay home and do Zoom and everything, Zoom classes. And these people are allowed to go out and vote. They're allowed to go and make decisions that will change the country. Adam, what can I do for you, bub? Oh my God, what? Mwah. Why must you always bother Grandpa? I'm recording right now. Why must you always bother Grandpa? Mwah. He's like, I love you, Grandpa. I know, I love you too. Mwah. What's on your face? Mwah. Can I help you? Okay, you're gonna make biscuits on my arm? Making biscuits on my arm? But actually, let's see if anyone even says that. You mean with the knowledge of the 1700s? By comparison, very little was known in those days. Here's an 8th grade exam from 1885 from NASA's website. Grammar, arithmetic, U.S. history. Ooh. Nice. Yeah, they're all just dum-dums. Why are we always clapping when they think they're making a point? It's weird. Little Debbie. Always in the eyes. Has she read any books on Ben Franklin or Thomas Jefferson or any other founders? They were significantly more educated than most current Americans. Yeah. Deliver us from liberal white women. The founding fathers began their days by reading Latin and Greek and philosophy, and unlike anyone under 40 today, they were all well versed in history and the Western civilization. She's looking for a way to diffuse, and instead of accepting the reality that she messed up, she'd rather blame other people than herself for putting herself in the situation she's currently in. Access is an odd word to use. Yes, today's 12-year-olds have access to even to everything known to man. However, today's senior in college couldn't pass an 8th grade exam back in the late 1700s. They were, and they knew biology back then, where today's students don't even know what a woman is. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. You go, girl. Uh-huh. Funny that's why she's in college, while she's in college learning about what they accomplished. Yeah. Someone bring joy to her life. Barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen. The founding fathers were investors, scientists, builders, statesmen. Sir Isaac Newton, William Shakespeare, Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates were all before her modern education system. Great minds do not need your system. And it's because of those people that we're so well versed in philosophy and literature. But no, they were just dum-dums. They were basically equivalent to cavemen. They were just knocking rocks around and trying to make fire. This is everything wrong with the left. This is everything wrong with the education system. This is why people were like, maybe women shouldn't have the right to vote. For me, I say at the very least, for anyone, you need to be like psychologically evaluated before you vote, because people like her are allowed to make major life-altering decisions in the country. It's insane. It's insane. But Adam, you have anything to say before I leave or stop? Huh? He's just gripping my chest. He's like, "Isn't that right, Bubba? You're a very good boy." But this is the reason why people want to shut down the Department of Education, because they have done absolutely nothing but completely ruin the minds of kids. They have completely ruined the minds of these kids. These kids can't do math or read or figure out how to do anything without fucking going to their phones. Me, I know how to, sew. All this great stuff that would be great to know in that, that sort of situation. I know how to cook. But these kids, everything they need to know, they just look it up on their phones. And the stuff they're learning in school is not going to benefit them in any way. Sure, is it great to be a tolerant and more understanding person? But these people don't need to teach it in schools, because the same people who are teaching in schools, guarantee you, weren't having that stuff forced down their throat when they were kids, and they would say that they turned out just fine. How about sticking with what we need? The math, writing, reading, science, history, economics. And, if you need to teach sex ed, you teach the bare basics. You don't go into kinks or like, oh, some people like to get pissed on. No, just the bare basics. Let them know what to expect. Tell them that if they have unprotected sex, you're going to catch an STD or get pregnant. The basics. You don't go into the details of this is a dildo, this is a vibrator, this is a fleshlight. No. But anyway, that's going to do for me. Adam, when you want to say anything? Here, come here. Want to say anything? Want to say anything before I go? It's like, bye. Mwah. Anyway, that's going to do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye.